Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Let's talk Saints and Colts. Saints and Colts on Sunday from Lucas Oil in Indianapolis. And at this point, the Saints have had the mini bye to hopefully get a little healthier, especially on the offensive line, and work on some things. I've berated the Saints up and down for 2 weeks now after the loss in Houston and the Thursday night performance against the Jaguars. I'm not going to do that here. I'm not. I'm just gonna go through some statistics, play a little sound, go through some of my feelings as the Saints head up to Indy to play this football game, because it's time to turn the page and look towards it. And Indianapolis' defense, any way you want to slice it, has not been great. There are some statistical trends that are a little bit skewed with them, but overall, it's not a great team. It's a team that is 3-5-4 on the season, 3-4 on the year. They lost to the opener to the Jaguars, beat the Texans, and they won at the Ravens in overtime. They lost an overtime game to the Rams. They beat the Titans, and then they've lost a couple in a row to the Jaguars and Browns. So that's kind of where they sit. But when you look at them statistically ranked against the rest of the league, and I think now that we've got 6-7 week sample size, we've kind of got enough to kind of look at who you are. And this is a Colts defense that's 22nd in the league in total defense. They're 19th in the league in passing defense. They're 21st in the league in rushing defense. They are 30th in the NFL in scoring defense. They haven't been good. All of those were 19th or worse in the league. Total defense, passing defense, rushing defense, scoring defense. They're 23rd in red zone defense too. It's not a great defense. Now, when you look at the scoring defense and look at especially the last 2 weeks, because I dove into those stats and kind of looked at something and I went, these stats for the opposing offense aren't that great. How are they scoring so many points? Well, the Jaguars had a 22-yard touchdown drive that they got off of short field. They had 2 field goal drives that were less than 20 yards where they got a short field. So right there's 13 points that the Colts defense wasn't directly responsible for. And then the Browns did have a defensive score in a game where they scored 39 points. So even so, giving up 32 is not great, but you gave up a defensive score in that game. But the statistics still bear themselves out. And the one little anomaly, and one thing that I look at that the Colts are decent at in terms of their defense, is they're good on third down. They're 8th in the NFL. And all that tells me is if you're 19th or worse in all these other categories and you're 8th in third down defense, teams aren't even getting to third down much on you. They're just chewing up yards. That's what that stat says. I'm sure I could go to a play-by-play basis and break down the all-22 and come up with a little more nuanced statistical analysis than that. But if you're 30th in the league in scoring defense, you're 22nd in total D, you're 23rd in stopping teams in the red zone from scoring, and you're 8th in third down defense, you're probably not dealing with a lot of third downs. Because if you were dealing with a lot of third downs and you were good at it, then folks wouldn't exactly be putting up the points and yards that they have. So here come the black and gold. They're coming off a mini bye. Should be a little healthier. Derek Carr's another week removed from the AC sprain. You would think that potentially you could get Ryan Ramczyk back. Kamara's very lightly used at this point. Should be in good shape. You ought to go in there and put up a better fight than what you've been doing. That's my thought. We look at the Saints to this point. They're 22nd in rushing yards per game. They're 26th in rushing yards per carry. Again, this is lining up with what the Colts are. It's just not very good. You can say, well, are they really running the ball that much? Yeah. They're 11th in the league in rushing attempts per game. This is what it's going to boil down to me in this game. The Saints have to find a way to run the football. Get your guys who are first and second round picks up front, who've had 10 days to recover, had 10 days to game plan, to line up and knock Indianapolis off the football some and let Alvin Kamara go to work. That makes Derek Carr's life easier. We know that needs to happen. That puts you in more advantageous opportunities on third down, which we know has been an issue. And there is no better way to score in the red zone than to run the football. Line up, be physical, hat on a hat, and run it. And if you can't line up and do it with Derek Carr under center and Kamara behind him, then put Taysom Hill in. They've actually had some success with him. The offense has been anemic the vast majority of this season. But some of the bright spots have been with Taysom Hill out there. He's physical. He's fast. He gives you a numbers advantage. I'm almost at the point where I want to throw out the need to be traditional and just be a little bit more non-traditional and go with some Taysom Hill. We ranted and raved and yelled and screamed for Sean Payton to chill out with the Taysom Hill. You got Breeze. Chill out with Taysom. Quit trying to do things that don't need to happen. Let 9 go to work. Well, 9 can't go to work for you on Sunday. Taysom can, okay? This is not a great Indianapolis defense. They're playing with a backup quarterback who was good last week. But it's an opportunity to get right, I think. And if the Saints don't do that on Sunday, it's just another mark against them and drives hope further from sight. Again, I've ranted and raved about this team for 2 weeks now. I've gone all the way up to the organizational structure yesterday. I'm just trying to boil this thing down to 60 minutes. You're playing an average team on the road with some extra time to prepare. And we've been talking about this talent and that talent here, there, and some guys, some weapons that the Saints have. It's time to use some of them because the point totals that the Colts have given up, 39 to the Browns, 37 to the Jags. Titans only scored 16. But 29 to the Rams. Ravens only scored 22. 19, actually. Texans, 20. Jags, 31. They've given up points. And I think a lot of folks will look at this game and they'll look at the Colts with a backup quarterback, kind of a one-dimensional offense, and wants to go Jonathan Taylor. And they'll want to break down that matchup against the Saints defense. I kind of know what the Saints defense is. I see an opportunity for the offense here. It's time for them to seize it. And Dennis Allen said earlier this week when he was with the media, hey, we're making some strides.
I think we've been closer in the last couple of weeks. And I think, we've been better up front, and yet I think we have to be better up front. Look, I think we're closer, but we need to start, seeing some better results.
I think that was a perfectly fair soundbite from Coach Allen. I think they were a little bit better up front, even though it was a hodgepodge unit last Thursday. And they need to still be better than that. And it's got to start now with the Saints and Indianapolis coming up on Sunday. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.